Very good. So we've carefully cut out, paint's still a bit dry in there, we've carefully cut out with that ultramarine, and now it's time to get into some of the detail of the trumpet player and bass player. Now this is again polarization. It is about negative and positive, most certainly. We are now beginning to use this blue, leaving behind the orange, to start to describe form, dare I say. So I suppose what we're doing, in effect, is working sort of positive to negative. The light is certainly from the top, from this stage lighting, as we've designed this picture, and it's from above and directionally slightly from the right as we look at the painting. So we're going to have darker on this side, darker on the left side of the painting, and lighter to the right. So this is the first attempt now at beginning to sort of describe form. We've got the jacket, the sleeve of this jacket. Good way to begin to form that impression and resulting creases in that jacket. I leave behind a little bit of orange here just to denote where that division is, still to be sorted out and completed. We'll drop in here a dark and a negative. We leave behind light, which is the positive. And this will go right through the whole description of the painting and into the head. Now we've got a very expressive jowl as the trumpet player is playing the instrument. You can see the sort of force of the note being blown through that trumpet. Let's put a bit of dark behind that ear. I think the ear, let's cut that ear out. I think it's very important to have a prominent ear, the ear of the musician. And a cheek, the other side of a nose. So you can see how simply I'm beginning to sort of tease the form as I put it here. We've got the pursed lips over the trumpet and so forth. So we are beginning to really look to sculpt this head. You can see I'm following the drawing. It may change slightly, it always does when we paint, but I'm respecting that sense of light to dark across from left to right. So begin to really manage the sense of the painting and the form. Very good. So we've got a bow tie on here. Why not? Let's show that also. Lapel of a jacket. And when I come across here to the bass player, well, I think the bass player is going to be silhouetted, but there's sort of the stage lighting is creating a sort of silhouette. So I'm going to, for the moment, I'm going to leave that sort of orange. Remember, I described that orange sort of halo. Let's make it a bit neater. We're going to just show there's a sort of aurora of light around this bass player, this other member of the band, and even the machine head, or whatever it's called, of the top of the bass is sort of silhouetted in the same way. There we do it. That's how we do it. And if we're talking instruments, well, we can't ignore that trumpet, can we? Let's start to give an indication of, and it is exaggerated. I've sort of foreshortened. I made it a large, big, rounded shape in design. The horn of the trumpet here. It's slightly cut out of the picture frame. Never mind, but I'm going to start to indicate that. And I suppose it's quite nice composition. It amplifies the stage lighting. So next stage, everyone, is this. Start to cut in into the form, and you can follow my resource image, my own, and anything else that I post to you to assist you in how we start to cut out our musicians. So we cut out the form of our jazzman, trumpet player. We cut out the bass player, trumpet, etc. Now, and in the last sort of half hour or so, 40 minutes, I've just moved into all the form of our description, and this will take you a little while. But nearing the end now, and it's just tidying up through and completing. Do step back away from your work and judge. Put it away for a bit. Have your coffee and come back to it for the final touches of this full tone, because this blue, this ultramarine, now we see as being the sort of dark shadow of our design image, and we've the ground, that surprising orange, is now the half tone, what we describe as the half tone of, and it is the lightest. Now that soon is to be developed, so that's the next stage, but important just to finalize, be happy with your result here at this stage. Look for clarity and sharpness. Technically, things, and in my own demonstration it's happened, things go wrong. You need to go over, you need to go back to orange. So be in control of that. Let's see an area here. I note, I'm just loading that fierce orange again, and just describing how you can come back and tidy up areas, something you're not happy with. Use this as a correction. You've got to come back in places and just tidy up. Now, the only thing is that you're putting the orange onto a very dark blue, so you'll have to be patient. You might have to give it a few touches, overpaint once or twice over in areas. But I'm just demonstrating how you're in control. You're in control of the medium. I just want to see if I can highlight here this bass player, his knuckles and his fingers as they pluck the strings of this fantastic instrument. Do you see? So I'm just demonstrating how you can bring back the orange if you need to. It's to be avoided. If we can get it done first time, brilliant. But it does require at times to come back in, and you might feel you stand back from your drawing. You think, oh yes, I wish I needed this and I needed that. Well, then you can bring back and correct with that original ground colour. And I'm looking to finish now the detailing here, that sense of negative and positive, most definitely making sense of our subject. And things do appear. I mean, I quite like the idea of these sound holes on the double bass. They're going to make a nice shape. I'm just going to come in. I sort of found this out whilst painting. I thought, well, I'll make a feature of that. That's creative. That should happen. You sort of work into a subject, your resources that you're looking at. We're looking at secondary sources. We're using some photography resources of jazz musicians over the last century, and you can source different subjects. If jazz isn't your thing, then fine, change it. If you're a pop fan or a rock fan, this can be the same sort of a set of circumstances, and even a different colour scheme. Once you've practiced this and gain knowledge of this method of working, polarization as I call it, have some fun. Create a whole series of rock, pop, jazz legends. So you can see how I'm forming, cutting out. I've just left that hand of that bass player just to dry a little bit, but I'm going to come back over it perhaps again, just to give it a little bit more impact. Where's that knuckle? Those plucking fingers. And I will conjure up, I will make good the instrument and the player, just to have that transition, that diagonal through in the composition to this detail here. So in a few minutes I'll finish, and what I'll do is I'll do a freeze frame of this completed stage and share it with you on our resource page, and we're ready for the next colour.